What's going on, you guys? Today's video is gonna be different. We're actually standing right next to a 2002 Cadillac Deville with a 4.6 liter. Now this car, what it's actually doing when you drive, it has a check engine light, okay, and the code that is actually throwing off is a p0507, which is an idle air control, and that's only being triggered when the computer detects that the RPM is actually higher than 200. You guys can see 4.6, and it is a 2002 507. That's the code. Now in this case, I'm gonna tell you a little bit of what happened to me. So I was actually driving this car. Let's go ahead and shut this down so you guys can actually see it. I was actually driving this car, I was on the highway, and as I was driving, I was okay, I was just cruising, I was just whipping, and I was on the highway, and it was like a little bit of traffic. So I was like, let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and take off this exit right here. So I took off the exit. I went to the right. I got to the first light, and I stopped there, because it was the red light. So I had to wait, for the green light to come on. So basically, when the green light came on, I gave the gas, and when I gave the gas, this car has on the dash, it has a digital miles per hour. It has a digital odometer. Basically everything, the whole thing is digital. So it was actually telling me the miles per hour, and when I was driving all of a sudden, it just went from whatever mileage I was going to zero, like 0 miles per hour, and I was hitting the gas, and the car, instead of going, what it was actually doing, it was actually just revving up. If the car was to be in neutral, basically, no matter how far you put the gas pedal all the way down to the floor, all it will do, it will just rev the engine up. That's basically all it will do. So I had to put the hazards light, like the emergency lights, basically, and I had to pull over to the shoulder. I stopped there for a few minutes, shut the engine off, and then I came back again. Well, I was sitting in the car the whole time. So I took the key out, and then after a few minutes, I put the key back in the ignition, and then basically what I did, I restarted the engine. When I restarted the engine, I put it on drive, and I continued driving. The car only moved, I want to say like 10 feet, like forward. That's basically the distance that it moved, basically. So at that time, it was actually telling me the miles, and all of a sudden, it went to 0 again, and then the gas, it stopped working. Like I was pressing the gas, and it was just revving up, like if it was on neutral. I already explained that to you guys before. So luckily, it was like a downhill. I made it up the uphill, and then when the car, when the car stopped acting on me, I was actually all the way on the top, and I was starting to go downhill. So basically, what the car actually helped me out is that I was able to go down the hill, and I put it on neutral. I was like, there's no point of having it on drive though. So I was like, let's put it on neutral so I can actually have like more inertia, like going down, and helping me slow down at the same time. So luckily there was a Walgreens down the street. So I pulled over, I made a right turn, and I got to the Walgreens parking lot. I shut the engine off, and when I was there, I pulled out the scanner, the OBD scanner, and I hooked it up to the OBD. It was saying a p0507, so I looked it up, and I was like, let me see what the 507 is, basically. So I looked it up, he told me what it was. So I was like, let's go ahead and cool the engine down for a few minutes, So I sat there for 30 minutes, and then I came back again, put the key back in the ignition, restarted the engine, and I put it on drive. It was able to move, I want to say maybe about a block, away. So I was like, hey, maybe I'm going to make it home. So let's go ahead and continue driving home, Maybe if I get lucky enough, I'll get home on time. And just when I was saying I think I'm gonna make it, the car broke down again. So I had to pull over again. And then I was like, you know what? I have an idea. And I was like, let's go ahead and walk out to the hood, pop the hood. So I popped the hood, and I was just looking, you know, like, let me see what sensor I should probably disconnect. I was like, what sensor do I not like? So I was looking, and I just kept looking, and I was like, bingo. And I was like, I don't like that sensor. That sensor is nasty. Ew. Nah, I'm just kidding. So I came over here. Now, this whole unit right here, that's actually a throttle. Now, this sensor right here, this is the IAC, which is the idle air control. That's actually what reads the mass air, you know, the air that goes into the throttle body, and that tells the computer how much like pressure, you know, how much air the car is actually taking for the injector and the accelerator and everything to work. So in this case, I was like, if this sensor is bad, this harness is actually hooked up to the sensor, and I was like, if it's hooked up, the little terminals on the inside, they probably not working right, and it's doing like a cycle, you know, like from one cable and goes around and then comes out to the next, like the other harness, you know, the other pin in the inside, it comes out, so it makes like a complete loop in the inside. And I was like, let's do a trick, you know, let's hack the computer really quick so I can at least make it home. So what I did, I disconnected the sensor, I pulled it out just like so, and I just left it on, like, unplugged, you know, like disconnected. I closed the hood, jumped back in the driver's seat, started the engine, and I was like, let's see what it's gonna do. Put it on drive, and I started driving. The car was actually driving fine. Now, one thing that I do want to let you guys know that that I did notice is that when I put it on drive, the miles in the dash, it wasn't showing. And then another thing that it wasn't showing, it was the brake pedal. The brake pedal, it was going all the way to the floor, like all the way down to the floor. So one thing that I want to tell you guys really quick, you know, for a quick fix, so you guys can at least make it home, or at least make it to a shop, you know, so they can actually fix it for you. Or if you make it home, it's just that simple, you know. You grab a Phillips screwdriver, just like me. I had one with me in my pocket just now, but that's because I'm home now. So you go in the inside, and you pulled out this screw right here. So I'm gonna keep turning. Then make sure you guys don't drop it, because if you guys drop it, then you're gonna have a bad luck, you know, trying to look for it. Let's try to make this video at least 10 minutes. I know it's like a lot of talk right now, but trust me, it's gonna help you. Let's put this screw over there, and then there's another one underneath it. Right there. Let me see. There you go. I'm gonna continue taking this out. I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I took the two screws that were holding the idle air control, basically what you're gonna do is grab it, you know, with your fingers, and then just move it to the sides. Pull this out, and then as you guys can see, ew, it's so filthy, and it looks like it has like carbon in the inside, like built up in the inside. I don't know if you guys can tell, but this right here, you guys can actually like turn it and adjust the idle air control. But in this case, we don't want to mess with it. I'm just messing with it because I know it's bad, so I really don't care. But I'm gonna pull this all the way out, okay? So give me 1 second. So as you guys can see, this IAC is actually pulled out all the way outside, and you guys can see all that dust, carbon that is built up in the inside. I'm really not that sure what that is. Okay, so you guys can actually see, you know, what was in the inside. And then if we come over here, my flashlight is actually not on, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be pretty dirty on the inside too. Let's see if I can use two phones. Try to zoom in. Ew, there you go. You guys can see. You guys can actually see it's so perfect on the inside. So what I'm gonna do, I guess I have a job for me to do now, is taking the throttle out, clean it, and replace the IAC. So we're gonna be replacing this IAC maybe in the next few days, because I really don't have a car to go to the store with right now. You guys can see I have nothing around me, like nothing. And so I'm just gonna put it back in the car for now, and then wait to go to the store. So there you go, guys. There's actually a quick fix on how to fix a p0507 on a CAdillac Deville. As you guys know, if you guys are stranded somewhere in the outside or far from home or close to home, no matter where you at, and you guys at least trying to make it home without having to pay a tow guy to tow your car to whatever place you want to get it towed. Quick little fix, just disconnect the IAC, and by disconnecting the IAC, you guys are gonna be able to make it home. And just don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to hit a like if this video was helpful, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.